This video is going to demonstrate the anatomy of the uterus. Anatomically, uterus is an inverted pear-shaped muscular organ of the female reproductive system located between the bladder and the rectum. Its function is to nourish and house a fertilized egg until the fetus is ready to be delivered. In human, the lower end of the fetus, the cervix, opens into the vagina and upper end fundus is connected to the fallopian tubes. The uterus lies in antiversion and anteflexion. The long axis of the uterus is bent forward on the long axis of the vagina against the urinary bladder. This position is referred to as antiversion of the uterus. The long axis of the body of the uterus is bent forward at the level of the internal os with the long axis of the cervix. This position is termed as anteflexion of the uterus. The uterus can have anteverted, retroverted, and a mid-post position. Now I am going to demonstrate the parts of the uterus. In this view, fundus of the uterus can be seen. The fundus is the uppermost rounded portion of the uterus. It is the broad, curved upper area in which fallopian tubes connect to the uterus. Now you can see fallopian tubes, also known as uterine tubes or salpinges. They are tubes that stretch from the ovaries to the uterus. The fallopian tube is composed of 4 parts. The narrowest part of the tube that links to the uterine musculature is interstitial part. The body, that is the main part of the uterus, starts directly below the level of the fallopian tubes and continues downwards until the uterine walls and cavity begins to narrow. The uterine wall has 3 layers. The order of layers from inside to outside are the endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. The endometrium is the inner epithelial layer, along with its mucous membrane and endometrial mucosa as seen here. It has a basal layer and a functional layer. The functional layer thickens and then is shed during menstruation. The myometrium can also be seen in this view. It is the thickest tissue of the uterus and is composed of smooth muscle fibers. Now let us discuss about the cervix. The cervix is usually 2 to 3 cm long and roughly cylindrical in shape, which changes during pregnancy. The cervix is the lower part of the uterus. It has a narrow central cervical canal connecting the uterine cavity and the lumen of the vagina. Now you can see the internal os, which is opening into the uterus. The mucosa lining the cervical canal, known as the endocervical mucosa, can be seen here. The lower opening of the cervix into the vagina is called external os. The lower part of the cervix, known as the vaginal portion of the cervix or ectocervix, bulges into the top of the vagina as seen in the picture. The mucosa covering the ectocervix is known as the exocervix.